Let's talk about business coaching in general. How do you approach coaching, particularly operational strategy, which I know is what we talked about. And let's talk about the process and how you coach individuals and businesses.
Sure. So there's actually a lot in that question. So let me just unpack a couple of things. So first thing is to clarify that business coaching is not the same as life coaching for business folks. That's an important distinction, because business coaching is about integrating into the organization all the specific business skills, mindsets, the systems, even the tools to help the owner reach his or her goals, right? Pure coaching, like if you talk to people in coaching institutes and stuff, the theory of coaching is that the answers all lie within the client, and by just asking smart questions, the answers will emerge from the client's own mind. The reality is, in a business context, you can't draw out of someone how to do a 3-month rolling cash flow projection if they've never seen one, right? So business coaching involves some training and consulting, as well as that kind of goal setting, envisioning, and that kind of thing. So there's an important distinction in there. So it's, in some sense, business coaching isn't pure coaching. It's a combination of coaching, training, and consulting. On the strategy piece, I came to this through some hard lessons.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I came to this bit about strategy, honestly, because like a lot of coaches, when I started, I more or less took the client from where they were, right? This is how we'd work on the challenges or objectives that they'd identified as kind of most important. But over time, I started to see that most entrepreneurs, they confuse symptoms with problems, right? So we weren't always working on what mattered most. So now I always take clients to a really, really deep dive into the business. And when you say, well, what's the process I go through? So I actually created a tool that automates the entire front end of the strategic planning process. And it's how you kind of create a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And people, if I ask them to do it on their own, they come back to me with like 15 items. But when I got through with them, they'd come up with about 150. So what I did was, to make it easier, I built this tool that automates. It just asks them a bunch of yes/no questions with some qualifiers, and it automatically populates the SWOT analysis. And from there, we build out an actionable 90-day plan, a system for doing that every quarter. And then most importantly, because here's the thing about strategy, most strategies fail not because they're bad strategies, they fail in execution. So I try to make sure that there's a process for effective execution. I don't do anything from a curriculum. It's really based on the client's situation, because everybody's at a different stage of evolution, right? So that's in a real nutshell how it works. Yeah. But what I find is because it's focused on what is important at the time, that what a lot of entrepreneurs do is they play whack-a-mole, right? It's like, let's just hit what's there right now. But when you can focus, I always say to people, if you can do 2 major improvements a quarter, you'll have done 8 in a year. You find me 5 businesses that have done 8 major improvements over the course of a year. There's not that many, right? And it's because they don't do that kind of focus. So that's kind of what I try to do, is help people get super focused on what matters, go to completion, and then go to the next.